So what are we gonna talk about today?
Whatever we want. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
I kind of wanted to talk about... We still haven't talked about alien stuff, really.
Okay. What kind of aliens? What do you want to know?
I don't know. I'm still curious, what are the side effects of being abducted?
You just want to know if you've been abducted by aliens.
I mean, mostly that's what I'm curious about.
Do you have sleep paralysis?
No, I don't. I think I would never sleep again if I got that. He's had it. I would be
Well, they also gave him
terrified.
shots, right? Didn't they give you government shots?
Why? Because he was a cop?
Yeah.
There's 2 bumps on my... They're hard.
Ew,
You might have
stop.
implants. Yeah, there's a thing about implants.
No, you're lying. He
Yeah,
really
there's a
does.
thing.
He has
There's
these
a thing.
little hard
Nowhere, dude. It's
things.
Like a hard circle ball right in the center.
You know, that's interesting you say that because there's a whole side. No, listen, hold on. There's a whole side of the geoengineering thing where people have attributed these little, things like you're talking about, hard things in their skin, and sometimes they protrude through the skin and they seem intelligent, like they interact with the spine.
What?
Yeah.
The thing interacts with what?
Mhm. Yeah, look into it, man. Look it up. I'm not making this up.
That's disgusting.
I didn't say it's real.
That is
I'm just
so
saying that
creepy.
People are saying that they're having this happen to them and they're attributing it to this geoengineering,
Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. So alien stuff. I mean,
First of all, I can't remember. Do you believe in aliens or no?
it's a tricky question. What do we mean? What do we mean by aliens?
Well, what do we mean by aliens?
Do I think there's life elsewhere in the universe? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be probably dumb to not think so, right? Do I think that UFOs in the mainstream context are what they say they
Right.
are? No, absolutely not. I think that UFOs are government projects or corporate projects. It's all just secret technology. You know what I mean? That we have
So do you think people get abducted?
by us. Yeah, mostly.
Only by us?
Nah, maybe not only. I don't know. See, that's tricky. I don't know. I used to really be hard into the aliens. I used to love aliens. I used to think aliens, everything was aliens. Aliens created the pyramids. Aliens created us. You know what I mean? But now I'm starting to lean a little the other way because the mainstream is talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Which for a conspiracy theorist, a real conspiracy theorist knows that if you talk about it in the news, it's not that they're lying to you. It's that they're talking about it in the news. It's just a distraction, flat out. Truth or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if aliens are real.
So just because they are bringing some things to light makes you think that less
Here's an example.
believe it less?
Here's an example with the stock market thing, right? That's going on right now. Everybody's holding on to their GameStop stonks, right? Trying to make their money. Well, these hedge fund billionaires, they're losing billions of dollars. So on the news today, they were pushing, oh, the GameStop frenzy's over and all of the Redditors are moving to silver.
Yeah, to get people to...
You know what I mean? So it's
Think
it's
that
not
that's
that they
happening.
brought it up that it doesn't exist or that it's completely fake. It's you know what I'm saying? It's completely misrepresented and lied about.
They're
and
trying to
twisted.
control the narrative.
The narratives, exactly. So,
Interesting.
they say, oh, the Pentagon has to release UFO documents in 180 days with the stimulus package. Or, oh, the Pentagon says that there's, UFOs and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, now you're talking about it too much.
Yeah.
If there was really aliens, they would have come and shown themselves. Why would they be secret? And then I hear the story, oh, we're just not ready. We're not ready for the aliens to come yet. And I'm like, who's ready? The asswipes that run the world, that ruin the world? They're ready somehow?
Yeah.
No, the aliens are intelligent. They would come down and speak to humanity. They wouldn't speak to covert
Those
operations
specific people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Who's a secret guy? I'm trying to
Yeah, who's the secret guy in charge? Let's talk to the most secretive man on the planet.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about being abducted. I don't think that's a thing. If anything, if you feel like you're being abducted or like what makes you think?
I just remember thinking as a kid that I was abducted. I don't know why.
I mean, that could just be your mind, your subconscious.
But I just have like a very vivid memory of it, and I don't remember anything about my childhood. Like really, there's very little that I remember about my childhood.
That's fair. I mean, maybe you were abducted. I don't know. I'm not going to say
it all out.
I have a very vivid memory of being a child driving in a car, in a NASCAR race car, driving very fast, running away from Peter Pan, who was also driving a NASCAR. And later on, I realized it was just reoccurring dreams that I have every so often from when I was a kid.
But they seem real.
In my mind, it's very real. You know what I mean? So.
No, I've definitely had those kind of dreams where I thought they were real, and then you say it out loud to someone, they're like, that didn't happen. Yeah. And you're like, I swear it did though. Good. But I don't know. I just have, and it's like something that like I can, even now thinking about it, I can like put myself back in that moment of like thinking I was abducted by an alien for some reason.
So this is making me think of like parallel timelines, right? Like alternate realities. And there's this whole idea that we all live in multiple realities at the same time, right? Infinite parallel dimensions or however you want to frame it, right? But like the idea is that you might die. Remember, he was talking about this in one episode where he drove off the road and he died, right? But like, not really, not in this timeline. In this timeline, somehow that
just like is so
mind blowing.
What? Yeah. It doesn't even make sense in my mind. But
maybe your consciousness, because of the infinite timelines and infinite realities and the one consciousness idea, like maybe when your consciousness shuts off or ceases to exist somehow, that it just carries on in a parallel timeline that's next door, you know. Survives. Yeah, the consciousness survives, but the body doesn't survive. That's weird. You know what I mean? So maybe you were abducted in a previous timeline and you just somehow have some slight flashes, some memories. You know, they talk about it all the time. Oh, my previous life. I was so maybe there are flashes of previous lives or alternate timelines.
Do people really think they know what happened in their previous life? Or is it, I always kind of just thought people was like, in my previous life, I was probably a this or that because I like to do this or that, you know, like, I don't know.
I used to think it was all woo woo, honestly. Like I didn't believe in like psychics. I didn't believe in stones or like, you know, crystals. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like it was all just woo woo and you sounded like a hippie. But like now I'm pretty sure a lot of that stuff is as real as you could probably imagine it. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, the word magic that we talk about and all these other things, like it's all real, you know? So, you know.
Do you think it's real because they believe it's real?
No, I think it's real.
Like with the crystals and stuff, like they feel the effect because they mentally believe that it's giving them that effect.
That's probably part of it. I mean, like the observer effect that they talk about where, you know, particles do things because you observe them. And if you don't observe them, like who knows what they're doing?
Or just like the power of your mind.
Power of your mind, yeah. So there could be, I think maybe half. It might be half your mind saying this crystal is helping me or whatever. Yeah. And the other half of it is because you were thinking that, it makes it true.
Interesting.
You know, it's like anything else. If enough people believe something, it will be true. You know.
Yeah.
So, which leads me to a quote from a CIA director. Once everything everybody believes is a lie, our project will be complete. Look that up, Kramer, since you're standing there staring at the computer. Yes. Just like, once everybody, I don't know the exact quote, but it's something like that. Once everybody, you know, everything that everybody knows is a lie, that's when our projects are complete. And that's like a CIA director who said that at some point.
Crazy.
Yep. By the way, if you can't tell, we didn't have any topics today. We're just winging it.
I feel like we could be in that, pretty close to that though.
What?
everything we believe is a lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
Feels like we're like in that space.
The what?
Dave Chappelle calls it the age of swing.
Age of swing?
Everything, you just swing the story, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. The power of the internet too, man. It's crazy, especially like this weekend. You know, you see it a lot with all these Reddit schmucks. Literally, it's just a bunch of nerds. You know, a bunch of nerds on Reddit.
Rich nerds.
Literally just had enough, and they figured out the system. They know how the monetary system works, the Wall Street system works, and they were like, you know what? Not only can
how come nobody thought of it sooner?
I'm sure people have, but nobody banded together. There was a whole
right.
You can't do this by yourself.
And yeah, like now in this day and age, it's so much easier to like just get people from all over the world.
Exactly. Yeah. And this has been going on for a while. This isn't something that just happened this weekend. Like they've been planning this. I say planning, but they, this has been in the works, I guess, for a while. You know what I mean? A couple months. I mean, the guy who, username Deep Fucking Value, who's the guy who came up with this idea to hold this stock and just like bankrupt these hedge funds. He came up with this like months ago. You know what I mean? So.
Can you imagine being that guy and it actually worked?
I don't know. I'd be scared if I was him, to be honest. Yeah. I'd be freaking out. Now, he, from what I heard, has made millions, and then like it went up to like 50 million and it tanked, and now it's down to like a few million or whatever, but he's still up. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he might make millions and millions of dollars, but he pissed off a lot of people.
You mess with the wrong people,
bro. I mean? There's one thing in this world that gets people on the Hillary Clinton body count list, and that's messing with the money, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Where's this guy from? United States?
Find it? Is it going? You redirect to see? They're already redirecting. We're gonna have to stop using Google's products soon. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be aware of that. Everybody's been.
It says right here, we know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false.
There you go. Do I have to repeat that, or can they hear you now with this fancy new microphone?
Yeah, you don't have to repeat it.
Okay, good. Nice. Creamer's on the mic. Boom. So there you go. CIA director talking about bullshitting everybody. About everything.
When did they say this?
1981.
Wow.
1980. What is it?
William Casey, CIA director.
We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. Everything. Space, viruses, money, the money system. Everybody look what's going on now. I mean, dude, everything that we know is false as far as I'm concerned. You could not come to me.
Well, it's crazy because it's like he said that in the 80s. So now it's been about, 20 years since he said that.
Wow, you're math.
81,
30, 40.
81.
30, 40 years.
It's been 40 years.
This is no lie. This is why I don't remember how old I am.
Wait, is it 91?
It's 40.
Yeah, 40 years.
That's why I was like 30, 40, because then I started having to think about how old am I.
We're all dumb.
But I don't remember. I don't know if this is just me, but like I can't ever remember how old I am because I feel like I'm still 18. So when I say something was just a couple years ago, I'm thinking like 2009, but I'm like, that was a long time ago. Anyways, so that's my reasoning for thinking 1980 was just 20 years ago. 40 years. Ago. So they've had 40 years since saying that to mess with our heads. And who knows how long that project had been going on before that. So it does kind of make you think with like space.
Well, when
they really
Central Intelligence Agency is saying this, that's a problem.
Right, but I'm just saying like it says when it is, we know it's finished when.
Right.
So that means how long were they already doing it at that point?
Right. They had already started and they didn't know when it was going to end, but they were pushing to make sure that everything we believed was false. And that's not something you could just undo when the project's done. The day doesn't come where you're like, everything the American people believes is false. We can just close the project up now and then just like everything will go back to like the way it was before. No, like you just shifted society in like a complete lie. Like everything you know is false. Boom. You know what I mean?
Why does he just say American public though?
Because the CIA is only
it's just for the United
States. You know,
it's like, yeah.
There are intelligence agencies all over the world, and they all work together. People act like they're all enemies, and they all work together. They're all buddy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They all make the same black market money and all the deals and all the secret technology. You know what I mean? There's a reason that there's not a war going on right now of UFO shit, because we have UFOs. China's got UFOs. Russia, everybody has UFOs. Okay, take the word UFO as you will. You want to call it a disc or just some super advanced fighter jet. All of them have UFOs. There's a reason that they're not using them to murk each other in the skies right now. It's because they're all working together. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They're all waiting for the right moment.
Yeah. They'll just
together.
They do these proxy wars, man. They do these wars now. And wars are different. This isn't back in the 70s even. I think that's probably like the last time that the wars, as we think of wars, were probably fought. Now, I'm not saying that people don't go to war and it's not like dudes shooting at each other and like mayhem. That happens. But most of the war is just strategic moves by these motherfuckers to like do power plays, to throw people out, to get people in. You know, look what they did in Libya. You know what I mean?
They bombed Libya back into slavery, dude.
Look,
literally slavery's back.
Yep. Yeah, literally. Slave trades in Libya right now, no problem. You know what I'm saying? But
thanks, Obama.
But I don't know. Did Biden sign an executive order to get rid of that slavery? Or did he just sign an executive order for all his other... But how many were we up? 52? 54. And I bet none of them have anything to do with slave trades in Libya.
Perhaps not.
I wonder if any of them have anything to do with the geoengineering programs.
It's like there's so many that we can't even keep up with what they all are. He can't either.
Right.
He's like, I don't even know what I'm signing.
I saw that video. I don't even know what I'm signing. Like, and you know what? I
saw it live. So it's like some people could say it's like out of context, but I mean, yeah, he just literally can't even get a pen.
The thing. There's two sides
out of a thing.
Of course, they get a rundown. He ran through all of these orders before he sat down. So it's like,
which one is this?
Right. So he knew all of the stuff he was signing beforehand. But it is funny to see this old man who's borderline dementia. Yeah. That is literally, and
like,
you
can't get the pen open.
Listen, you could pull us off YouTube for that one, because I know people are getting pulled off for saying that Joe Biden's got dementia. But listen, man, that man has dementia
for sure.
You remember Grandpa? Yeah. This dude.
No, I don't remember him.
This dude. Well, I'm just saying, like the way he acted, like before he started, like really going downhill. Like this dude is acting the same way. He's just he can't figure out what's going on, man. You know what I mean?
He's just always like,
just can't figure out what's going on.
Squinting, so he can read the teleprompter, and he like fumbles. No,
he's just like.
By the middle of June, we're trying to have 100 million vaccines, and that's enough to do almost 300 people.
300 million people. Yeah, I heard. He just stumbles.
I love how he he's always like, listen. It's like he has to say it so he can like take some time to like read.
Because he can't read the prompter. Here's what I'm going to do. Listen. I'm going to offer my services up to the Biden administration. Gladly, I'll do it free of charge. I will come be the new, what do you call it, speech writer for the Biden administration. And I'll make sure to write it in a way that he can read it. Because whoever's writing the speeches, he can't read it. He can't keep up with the speed of the prompter. He can't keep up with the words being used and the context and all of the things. His brain doesn't operate that way. So what I'll do, I'll do it for free. Call me up. I'll come write the speeches. 2 = 4. And I'll make sure that he can present the information in a way that could be understood.
Yeah, he just needs the bullet point.
Just needs a bullet point.
Listen, why can't they pull out one of his clones that doesn't have dementia and have him read the teleprompter?
He doesn't have clones.
You don't think?
No, he's a tool, man. Biden's anybody who's like, and I got friends that are probably going to be mad at me for this, but anybody who's like gung-ho, like hardcore Biden fan, you're a dumbass. You are a sheep, and you need to go and find some sheep feed, because you literally are an idiot. This man is part of the program. He's been part of the program the entire time. There's nothing about this guy who's ever done anything good for any of us, ever. You just didn't like Donald Trump, so you like Biden. You're an idiot. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying you're an idiot because you don't like Donald Trump. You're just an idiot because you don't know anything about the dude that you're all gung-ho about.
Or not even that. I think too, it's partially just because it's like the female vice president aspect
Good
of
for
it
her.
too. It's like,
good for her. She's
you
an idiot
voted
too.
for this dumb guy just so that this lady could be the
She's
first
an idiot too. All these
female
people
vice
who
president.
hated cops
like,
voted for the biggest cop of them all. This woman had so many people locked up in jail with, literally these people could have been released so many times, and people spent years in jail because of this woman. This woman is look at what she did. I'm not even going to get into it because they're going to ban this entire podcast. We're just going to be ranting about the Biden administration. All right. You can't say that. Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho.
You can't tell the truth.
Anywho, does anybody know where the SpaceX Tesla car is? Rocket Man? Where's Rocket Man? Is he still up there? Is the camera still on? Where's Rocket
Let's
Man?
watch. I've actually never watched that.
Yeah, I saw it when it first went up. It
you
looked
looked it
super
up?
fake, but you know, what do I know? SpaceX live feed. I was watching one of the live feeds from a couple days ago. It looked really good, you know, but it also. Here's what I'm saying. There's so many people that think that space is fake or NASA's lying and blah, 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 blah. Elon Musk, he's a fun guy. He's a fun guy. You ever watch his tweets or see him talk about stuff? He's a fun dude.
He's funny.
He likes to joke around about stuff. So why wouldn't Elon Musk just put a camera? I want a live feed from launch to orbit or from launch to the space station with no cuts. People say there is one. No, there are cuts. They always cut from one camera to another so you can watch the stage and watch this thing happen. And, and then we'll cut back to the rocket. No, I want a beginning to end, no cuts. I'll watch the whole thing. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know?
Well, yeah, and you know he knows what people are saying too, because he's like all
He's a
into
fun
all
guy.
that, yeah,
he's a fun guy.
So fun. It's not on there.
I don't think the camera might be gone. There's got to be a map or something, but I want to know where that guy is. You know what I'm talking about, Rocket Man?
Sort of. He put the car in. I didn't know there was like a person, like a dummy.
Yeah, it's a dummy.
Obviously not a person, but like a
suit.
fake person.
Put an astronaut suit in the front seat. So something else that, since we're talking about aliens and space and stuff, I came across something.
This would be nice if it wasn't just part of the school.
Whoa! What's this?
I don't know. This said this is our live feed.
Oh, that's just
They don't
NASA.
actually have anything.
That's NASA TV. Yeah, that's just like.
Oh, no, February 1st. Spacewalk. Great batteries.
I don't know. Anyways, there was an object that went in front of the sun in June last year. I think June or July.
An object.
I never heard this before. Yeah. So there's like Venus tracking across the sun, and then a second object, and there was like no news articles about it. I heard it on a podcast, and then I did some digging, and I found like an article on it, and I was like, oh snap. An object, like a giant object, and some people were like, oh, it's the moon, and I was like, no, it's not the moon. Like obviously we would know if the moon crossed in front of the sun. You know what I mean? But it was like another object that wasn't Venus, wasn't the moon, passed in front of the sun. I think so. The blue beam, right? The fake alien invasion or the fake coming of the Messiah, whatever, right?
Yeah.
The blue beam thing. I think they know something else is coming. I think there is really something coming, right? And they're just trying to fake this whole thing now, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure like the Starlink. How many satellites are we up to now on Starlink? 1,000 satellites or something like that. This dude has so many satellites in space. And they could all easily be fitted with projectors and audio or any type of, hologram equipment. Who knows? You know what I mean?
So what do you think the object is?
I don't know, man. A mothership? A fake mothership? A real mothership?
Huh.
Is it the real mothership that they're going to try to cover up with their manipulation, or is there actually something coming?
Did you see that post that Aunt Judy posted today about, I did not click on the link, so I don't know. I did not read the article, but it was a picture of like a new planet, and it said that guys or I don't know, interns, something like that, some young guy, it sounded like. Second day I want to say at NASA, finds a new planet.
I did see that, but I think that planet was like out of the solar system. Like that was like in another galaxy or some crazy stuff. Like, was it not?
I don't know. I didn't click on the
either.
link. I'm just curious.
But here's what they did, right? So we
It's
talked
really
about
pretty
this.
looking.
Yeah, we talked about this on the first episode. He brought it out how they have blacked out splotches. Like if you go on NASA's website and you look at, you know, Google Sky, or even on NASA's website, you can find pictures of space, and there's blocked out images, right? And it's like, why? What is there that they don't want you to see?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, some people say, oh, it's probably like a military satellite or something. Like they just, you know, and if that was the case, I could understand.
Stormtroopers.
I could understand if you had like a military satellite up there and you didn't want a picture put out, but that's not the case because this happens all the time. There's millions of them, of these pictures, you know? But like, you know, they talk about this Planet X, Nibiru or Nemesis, you know, all these different names for this planet that comes with these beings that are intelligent that apparently created us, if you go by like the Sumerian texts and stuff like that. But it's like this planet could be coming in and they could be trying to figure out how they're going to keep these beings from taking control away from them. You know what I mean? Like they're in control now, but if something else comes here, they're not going to be in control anymore.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the biggest thing that these people are worried about. That's why the Reddit people freak these people out. That's why they literally shut down the free market because they were scared of losing control. You know what I mean?
Craziness.
That's all it is. You watching a live feed of a spacewalk?
Yeah, this was this morning.
You ever notice they always use a fisheye lens?
I have to.
Why?
Well, you can't see anything.
Why does that have to be a fisheye lens?
Because, like, if I had this camera back here, I couldn't see both of you. That's how wide that's how tight these shots are. So if you had this on some dude's head, you'd literally see his thumbs, and that's it. So you have to have the concave lens to pick up
All right.
what's going on.
All right. Fair enough.
However,
You heard it here
So-
first.
So that's all I need. All I need is like a reasonable explanation. All right. A reasonable explanation. I'm good.
Me and my brother talk about this all the time. Is like, I don't know how big the planet would have to be in order for you to actually see it, and how small the planet would have to be for you to actually see it. How far away you have to be, because I think we lose scale of how actually big the planet is.
Have you seen the?
Like you can fit 4 Texas inside of Alaska.
Yeah.
Texas is the biggest continental state.
Yeah.
It's like you lose scale for how big Alaska is.
Right. Have you seen the picture of the Earth from the moon
No.
taken from like Apollo missions? There's a picture of the Earth from the moon. Okay. Can we let's find this picture because this is important.
Okay.
This is importante.
Importante.
Pictures of Earth from the moon.
Earth.
But not recent pictures.
No, these are old.
right?
Look, there you go. The third one. There you go. Look at that. Look how big the
I
Earth
can't
is.
see it.
All right, hold on.
It's like right behind the camera.
$45 picture.
There it is. I could just get the picture for free online. Why is it $145?
Is it a print?
Probably.
Life size.
Okay. So look how small the Earth is. Okay. At the same distance the moon is from the Earth from the moon, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
When we look up into the sky, think about how big the moon is in the sky.
Well, Jade knows this. That depends on
The time of the day.
the day. She's like, when
Was
has
it-
the moon ever been that big?
I don't know if I just don't get out enough, but I feel like the moon has been huge lately.
Could maybe.
Like, seriously, it's freaking me out. It scared me one time because I was
Look
like,
at
"What
that.
is that?"
Look how small the Earth is from the moon. And
You
then
think that looks small?
Look how not the one on the left, the one on the
Okay.
right. The one on the left
Yeah.
is like zoomed in. That's like the actual perspective on the right.
Okay.
Look how
Yeah,
tiny
that doesn't
that is.
really make sense.
And somehow the moon is like this big from our
Way
perspective
bigger.
up in the
yeah,
sky.
and sometimes even bigger.
It's like, what's going on here with that? And then there's a weird thing. There's a weird thing that people don't really think about. I don't know if they put it up to chance or whatever. I don't know. But the sun and the moon look the exact same size from our perspective. Not only that, but they cross paths and create perfect eclipses. And they're the exact same size. Like, what are the chances? What are the mathematical chances these two objects are, from our perspective, the same size? This one's huge, but it's so far away. It looks the exact size as this one that's much
true.
smaller, but it's really close. And they just happen to cross on a perfect little It's like, I don't know, man.
Smelling what you're stepping in.
You also never see the other side of the moon. It's like the moon's not rotating this
dark
way.
Side of the moon.
It's rotating at a different axis so that we never see the backside of the moon.
Dude, my astronomy teacher blew my mind with that. He's like, so does the moon rotate?
It does.
And I was like, no, because you can never see it. He's like, okay, well, you stay there, and here's the Earth. Tell me when you can see the backside of it. I'm like, oh, it does. He's like, yeah, it does rotate on the Earth's axis.
It rotates on the Earth's axis. Oh! And it rotates this way, like in relation to the Earth. Excuse me, I'm hitting the mic here.
Like this?
Yeah, so it is rotating, but it's rotating opposite of all of our rotations. So you can't ever, basically, you're never going to see the backside of the moon. It's just not going to happen. Okay, doesn't matter where you are on the planet. The backside of the moon doesn't turn around. Okay, they've done experiments where they slammed shit into the moon. I think China or Japan was the first ones to do this. They slammed a satellite into the moon as hard as they could, and
to like knock it off.
It rung like a bell for hours because it's hollow. They've done geological surveys and tests on the moon. The moon on the outside layer. Okay, so you know how they've explained to us in school how you got the crust and the mantle and the core, and the moon is inside out. It's as if the core is on the outside. The hardest, or the part that should be the densest materials and metals that are supposed to be on the inside, where the mantle and the core are, is on the outside. It's as if the inside of the planet has been completely ejected from the inside and covered the outside of the moon, leaving the inside hollow. Look that up.
What? That's like some Destiny stuff, bro. Like,
I've never heard that.
People inside the moon, or the hive.
There's ancient stories from ancient mythologies, religions from all over the world. You can look into there's probably like 50 of them that I could think of. You know, if you were like, oh, this one and this one, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard that, I've heard of that, I've heard of that. They all talk about something with the moon. Either the moon was put there, or there was a time where there wasn't the moon, or the moon brought, change, or like there's just different ideas of what the moon has done, and most of them don't consider the moon to be, I don't want to use the word natural, but
the hollow moon hypothesis or spaceship moon hypothesis proposes that Earth's moon is either wholly hollow or otherwise contains a substantial interior space. Oh, what the heck? Spaceship
Soviet
moon.
Academy of Sciences advanced the hypothesis that the moon is a spaceship created by unknown beings.
That is weird.
And they don't come up with any original stuff.
No, it's all predictive programming. Yeah.
Stuff and they go in and they're like, oh,
yeah, it's all
predictive
predictive
programming. And they have to hide inside the moon.
There you go. The moon rang like a bell. 1972 and 1977. Seismometers installed on the moon by the Apollo missions recorded moonquakes. The moon was described as ringing like a bell during some of those quakes, specifically the shallow ones. There's somewhere else where they, again, I'm pretty sure it was the Japanese Space Agency. They slammed something into the moon and it rang just like they're saying there.
Oh, yeah, right here. I rang like a bell for hours, leading to arguments about the moon must be hollow like a bell. Wow.
Yep. The moon is not what you think it is. You want to see something really cool? If you go to YouTube and you look up
Oh, wow. The fact that the moon is less dense than the Earth is advanced. And it is advanced as support because it's hollow.
What?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, trying to explain. I don't know how to articulate the shit that I come across, so excuse me if I sound like a dumbass half the time. But this is saying essentially what I was saying.
By a giant impact which ejected some of Earth's upper crust into orbit. It could have been part of the Earth?
Well, you remember the original theory was that the moon was another object that slammed into the Earth when it was creating, and we spun around each other, and then we became this thing. And that was the theory for the longest time, right? And then that didn't work out, so they had to revise the theory. There was the double whack theory, so it came back and it hit us twice, right? And then we have the moon. So it's like they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
No.
Okay, but now they're talking about maybe the piece of the maybe the moon is a piece of the Earth that came off. Now it's a piece of the Earth. It's like, no, dude, this thing was placed in a perfect orbit to create the perfect tides on this planet, to terraform this planet. If you want to terraform a planet, okay, to move your species onto, you don't just show up and get off the ship. You'll die. You have to make sure everything is prepared for your species to live. It might take 1,000 years. I don't know. You know what I mean? But the one way you're going to do it without building machines all over the planet, you could build millions of machines everywhere. Or you could build a moon, a giant mass, and put it in a perfect orbit around a body, and it'll orbit. And if you do it right, you can cause tides and all these things and blah, 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 blah. You just terraformed a planet, somewhat naturally. You know what I mean? It's unnatural that you've done it this way, but it's a natural terraforming,
Interesting.
So that's the theory. The moon is fake. Now go to YouTube and look up a user. I'll tell you when you get to the tubes. We're going to be looking up Crow777. This guy is an amateur astronomer, I think. Anyways.
They're blocking our internet.
Of course they are. He films all kinds of stuff, but he films the moon a lot. And he has a theory that the moon is actually a hologram, that the moon isn't even a physical object. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit weird. Yeah. But he has these videos, if you can find somewhere on his page,
where it's like glitching.
It's a refresh. You can see the refresh rate, or like the pixels of the moon refreshing in a wave. And then people are like, oh, that might be the camera glitching. But you can see other parts of that are in frame that aren't doing that. It's just the moon refreshing.
Weird.
It's really weird. It's like a hologram, or maybe the moon is a liquid and a ripple is going through it.
But that's the thing these days, and maybe this is part of that whole CIA thing.
PSYOP.
Is just like, you can't believe anything anymore because we have so much technology out there that everything can be faked.
Right.
So it's like, what do you even believe? You can't believe much of anything.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, you never know.
I mean, it could be real, but then there's always that, maybe it's photoshopped.
So like while you're watching it, like click on that right there. Watch the very edges of the moon on the right. Just try to watch the edge closely and you'll see it like refreshing. I think it comes from the top down. I don't know. Anybody at home, look it up too. Crow777.
Okay, so let's test what the scope shop told me. Here is the shadow circled, and this little, I think it's the Bay of Iridium or something like that. I forget the name of it. If I was to take this shadow and plunk it in there, you can see approximately.
I don't know. This is the long video. There is another one.
Like a clip.
Find it. I don't know, but I don't think the moon is what we think it is. Flat earthers think that it's inside the dome or inside of the firmament. If it's a hologram, then that would be true. I don't know that it is a hologram, but I do know that the universe is the hologram. So there's no reason to think that the moon isn't a hologram.
The universe is a hologram?
Jade, you were here.
I don't know.
We did this together. Yeah, we looked through the CIA document, remember? The Army intelligence document, and they said that the universe is a hologram. The hologram matrix. You remember the screamer, right?
I mean, it's like sort of sounding familiar.
Sound. Yeah, the universe is a hologram, and so is your brain. And your brain is just decoding the universe hologram and is presenting it to you. in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So none of this is real. And that's coming from this. I know it's hard to wrap.
I'm not real.
You're not real.
You're an NPC.
I'm just a lizard
You
person.
voted for Joe Biden. You're an NPC.
That's the thing too. I'm starting to question the lizard thing.
Why?
So there's the whole thing about the lizard.
I would love if the lizard thing was like debunked, because that honestly creeped me out.
Okay, so check this out. There's an idea of the serpent versus the eagle, right? As if like there's two different bloodlines. There's the serpent bloodline and the eagle bloodline, right? And throughout history, that's been the case. But the people who are in control now are the eagle bloodline, right? And that these eagles, right, they essentially twisted history and manipulated all the information to make everybody demonize the serpent people. That's why in all the religions, it's always the serpent who's the asshole, right? But in reality, the serpent bloodline are the people who were part of the ruling class, if you want to even call it that, during like the golden age of humanity. Remember when I was talking about the golden age of humanity? We were all like that. The serpent bloodline was the better. If you look at ancient Mayan culture and ancient Aztec culture and a lot of other ancient cultures, the original creator god was a serpent or a dragon, right? It was always like a lizard creature of some kind that came and brought life, right? And it was always like a good being, like helpful to humanity and to the world. And then there's always an intervention of another thing that comes and, changes everything. And in the ancient cultures, it was always personified as an eagle or some variation of the eagle symbolism, right? So, I don't know, maybe those fucking lizard people, maybe like that is a psyop to get us to put that energy onto the lizard people, when in reality, the lizard people are the ones that were here to help us to begin with.
There it is.
Okay.
There, you seen the refresher?
There it goes.
You see it?
That is weird.
Took him a minute, but he found it.
Oh, yeah, that is weird.
Whoa. I wish we should have shown it with it zoomed out.
Well, he has a bunch of these videos.
This is a different person.
Oh, okay.
This is jailing Ohio Skywalker.
See, that makes me even feel better.
777 sees it, throws up a nice catch.
And there you go. More than one person's seeing this, so that makes me feel good.
That's weird.
Dude, this has 100,000 views.
The moon has a refresh rate. The moon has a refresh rate.
That is weird. I don't know what that is.
Have you seen the moon lately, though? Like around 8 o'clock?
Not really. I did look at it through my monocular the other night for a brief minute, and then
It's so low
yeah.
and huge and like orange. It's weird. It's like massive looking. And I'm like, I don't know why. This might be really dumb, but why does it get low?
I don't know. I don't know the orbit of the moon by
Yeah.
heart, so I couldn't tell you. But
Because it's like during the day, it's all up there. And then most of the night, it's up there. But then like
so there's this other idea.
early evening, it's like low.
There's this idea that the poles are shifting. You guys heard about this? Remember in
No.
2012, the world was going to end?
World's
Remember that?
always going to end.
Well, there's supposed to be a pole shift. Supposed to be a pole shift, man. There's going to be chaos and tidal waves. And well, now, if you look, it's actually happening. There's a magnetic pole shift that's been taking place where people who have GPS coordinated, like true north, and like the most north points that they can find, it's moving. And same with south. And they are shifting.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering maybe, if the universe is an electromagnetic universe, okay, with the electric universe theory, polarity, right, is everything. I mean, you can't have electric charge or magnetism, so especially electromagnetism, without polarity. You need a positive and a negative. So like, these poles might be shifting, which might be causing things in space to shift, the moon to shift. I don't know. I'm not saying the moon's shifting because, again, I don't know the orbit.
Yeah, I
but
don't either.
who knows, man? I mean, remember, like, in the golden age, Saturn was the dominant feature in the sky, and it rested due north. You know, and if that was the case, how did it move? Maybe it's all from electromagnetism. Maybe a pole shift happened then, and because of that pole shift, electromagnetism and blah blah blah, and boom, everything just kind of gets dispersed in different formations in space. And here we are.
But like, don't you normally just see the moon up in the sky, like up?
Not, I see it in different places,
but like, you have to look up.
Not always. It's sometimes it's low.
Like, this is like low. Wasn't it like really low?
You don't look up.
It rises, Jade. It has to go below the horizon at some point. You just happen to look at it.
I guess I just never notice, and maybe I don't ever go out at night enough.
If it didn't ever go low, then we'd be the only people.
It honestly scared me, like, because I was just like looking, and it was like this bright thing, just like right over this like overpass, and I was like, what is that? And it was like the moon. It was huge. It was huge. And it was so orange. And I was like, what?
No, I don't know. I've been looking at the sky a lot lately. Like a lot. And I haven't seen anything weird with the moon. But I have been seeing a lot of chemtrails. I noticed that there's no chemtrails at night. Solar radiation
how would you see
management.
Them?
What do you mean how would you see? You can see clouds at night.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like it wouldn't be as obvious as during the day.
Also, what I noticed... Notice this tomorrow when they start spraying tomorrow.
This is the moon. This is a really bad picture, but
when they spray tomorrow, notice where they start spraying. They're going to start spraying into the east from our perspective because the sun rises in the east. They're going to start spraying in the east to start mitigating the solar radiation. And then as the sun tracks over the center of the sky, the spraying starts happening over the center of the sky. Next thing you know, it's evening time and it's partly cloudy because all of those sprayings have just mystified the whole area. Right? Watch, notice it tomorrow. Remember the other day when I texted you and I was like, look, the sky is perfectly blue. Not a cloud, not a chemtrail, not a thing in the sky. And I was like, mark my words, either today or tomorrow they're going to start spraying heavily. And then 2 hours later, I looked over, there was like 6 trails in a perfect, and I could see a plane spraying one. And I was like,
I started seeing them in like checkerboard pattern.
Yep,
like,
they grid the sky.
And then I'm like,
And again,
yeah,
you don't see them
it is too
at
perfect to just be like random, you know?
Yep. So I think they're blocking the sun. So there's the thing about DNA activation. We're coming into a time, right? This is a new era. This is a new age, right? Whether it was 2012 or 2021, these alignments, these prophecies, all these things are coming together. This is a new age of humanity, right? We're going into a new zodiac sign, all these things. DNA activation, right? Of evolution. Evolving, right? Something taking place, probably from our sun, the electromagnetic frequencies and the waves and the energies coming from the sun can activate DNA, right? Call it radiation, right? Tweaking the DNA. DNA activation. Maybe they're blocking the sun not to stop the solar radiation for global warming or climate change. Maybe they're blocking the sun to slow down or halt this DNA activation. They don't want us to move to the next level of our existence. You know what I mean? Which has been foretold since the beginning of time. Since people could write into stone, they've been talking about this. And here we are, and they're spraying shit to cover the sun or to block the sun. It makes me think. There's a pole shift happening. They're blocking stuff in the sky. The moon's refreshing. You know, it's like...
The moon's refreshing. It's just
Monsanto
so weird.
has aluminum-resistant plants.
Yeah.
They're spraying aluminum. Bill Gates funds both.
Bill Gates is everywhere.
Bill Gates is everywhere, man. We're going to find out that Bill Gates has a moon projector and that he's projecting the moon into the sky.
Honestly, we should do an episode just digging into like Bill Gates Foundation and see all of the things that they fund and see what we can just figure out that we wouldn't.
We just go as long as we can.
Yeah.
Just
Till the end of the line.
Where does it take us? Yeah.
You can't handle it anymore.
Till the end of the road. Until they kick the door in. Listen, I hope all you retards hold your GameStop and your AMC stocks and your Doge. Buy more Doge so I can get rich, everybody, please.
They won't like let us. I tried.
Buy the Doge, man. So what else, man? What else do we want to talk about?
Got me.
Stop smacking.
We still didn't talk
Sorry,
about
what do you think about
the side effects of abduction if
there's no
if
side
there
effects.
are any.
Stop. Get off the side effects of you're stuck on it, man. We've moved on. We're like 8 episodes beyond that. There's no side effects.
Nobody has answered my question yet.
Yes, we said sleep paralysis. You don't even have the main
That's it?
one.
That's the only
That's
one?
the biggest one.
Well, yeah, I don't
All the
have
other
that.
symptoms you could attribute to any other thing that are happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are they going to say? Oh, headaches? Oh, I have headaches.
I was abducted, that's
You know,
why.
no, headaches are literally
I've been
caused by
having-
everything.
Bro, I've been having headaches since I was like in 4th grade.
Stop sleeping
What
next to your phone.
4th grader do you know that has migraines every day?
Well, maybe your
I'm
brain's too
just
big.
saying.
Maybe you're thinking too hard.
That I am.
You're not looking up enough.
You're not looking up enough. Stop sleeping next
That's
to
why,
your phone.
that's why I don't know.
Don't sleep next to your
moon
phone.
is.
On the packaging, when you buy your smartphone, it tells you don't put it next to your head. Don't sleep with it on your nightstand this far from your head.
I don't,
Okay.
actually.
I do.
Bad idea.
On a wireless charger.
They're blocking that DNA activation on the wireless charger. I started unplugging my Wi-Fi. I put my phone on airplane mode. I turned my PlayStation off so it's not sucking up the Wi-Fi. I literally have disconnected from EMFs while I sleep. I've heard...
Do you feel any different?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually
Really?
been sleeping like a baby. Yeah. So there's this whole thing.
Sorry.
The EMF radiation is making your brain think that it's the middle of the daytime. That's what's
Interesting.
happening. Because this is all light. Everything is light, right? All waves are light waves. The EMF radiation is just another form of light wave. It's just such a high frequency light wave that it's making your brain think that it's high noon all the time, right? Now you don't see high noon, but just the frequency of high noon is being pummeled on your brain with all of these EMF frequencies. So when you're sleeping in the middle of the night, your brain is not fully getting all of the sleep that it should be because it's partially tuned into this. It's daytime.
I believe it. I'm
frequency.
just too scared to like shut my Wi-Fi off, and
Everybody is, but
'cause
why?
it's like, well, because I'm so paranoid. Like I've got cameras everywhere, and
That's the
they
thing,
won't
man.
work
They made
without
it so
Wi-Fi.
convenient for everybody that it's almost impossible for people to detach, even for the night while you
look,
asleep.
if there weren't so many freaking criminals out there, I would be fine with it.
Well, I'm not saying turn
but
your Wi-Fi off, but you don't have to have your phone on next to your head while you're sleeping.
But I do, because that's how I'm going to get the alerts from my camera.
Are you gonna shoot somebody if they break in, or is
Oh,
Kramer
that's
gonna
all
shoot
him.
somebody? Okay,
He will.
turn your phone off, Kramer. You got to keep your phone on, bud. Sorry, right on that wireless charger.
He's the one trying to.
get nuked all
He
night.
shuts off the notifications, and I get all mad because I'm like, "How are we gonna know if somebody breaks in if you shut off the
I
notifications?"
hear it, man. Look, it's hard for me too.
It's
but
just like the fear of something happening and me not being aware.
I know.
So otherwise,
Me too,
I would
man.
be totally fine
We
with
all
it.
have that problem. It's a hard thing to detach from, but I think that everybody should try to detach partially.
I still need to call on my Duke Energy, though. I keep forgetting.
Turn off that smart
Turn
meter.
off my smart meter. That might help.
Turn off the smart meter.
That.
How long are we
Yeah,
at?
I
We
need
at
to
an
do
hour?
that.
Not even? All right, we can keep going.
Smart things.
Smart things.
Ooh, you know what I noticed? Because you were talking about the 5G stuff being like so close, like they might put it on a light post right outside your house. So anyways,
Every 100 yards.
I started looking at our light post, and there's like this thing on top of it. And I'm like, what is that?
It's probably 5G.
I don't know.
So
It doesn't, I've never seen another light post with a thing. It's not on the stem or whatever of it. It's like the light and then right on the top of the light. So I don't know. That just reminded me to go look. You think it's a sensor? But I've seen lights that don't look like that or in the area. No.
could be a bird charging station.
I'm just saying, I need to go look at the other ones on our street and see if they look like that too. Or if ours looks different.
Yeah, it'll be like one every 20.
Oh.
One every 20 or 50 street pole. Yeah.
Why not?
They could. I mean, they're going to be putting 5G cells on every light.
That's because they have to.
Oh man, this is gonna get wild. So everybody thought 2020 was like crazy, and everybody's like, I can't wait for 2021. I don't want to scare anybody, but I'm pretty sure 2021 is going to be like a continuation. Worse. Not worse. It's just going to be
the same.
It's going to be the same, man. 2020,
no, I
2021
agree.
It's going to be the same.
I wasn't like,
bullshit.
I can't wait for 2021 because I'm like, pretty sure it's still going to suck.
It's going to be some bullshit next year. I'm not saying it's not going to be great. I'm going to have a great year. We're going to have a great year. Everybody that's listening is going to have a great fucking year. But I'm just saying, like, I don't want to.
A lot of it is in your mindset.
Yeah,
it's
people
like,
get disappointed too easily, and I already see it. It's going to be like a month from now, and people are going to be like, "I thought 2021 was going to be better." And it's like, bro, you can't. Like, nothing's saving you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all it was a new day. Yeah. Like, nothing actually changed.
Nothing's going to save you except for the nerds on Reddit. That's the only thing that's
And
winning $1 million.
And he was talking about how, like, his generation, like, didn't know every bad thing that happened. And he's like, now we have a
it's so true.
People that it's like the shuttle explodes every day. And eventually you either have so much anxiety or you just don't care at all.
That's like
negative
us.
Frequency.
I'm the one that has like all the anxiety, and you're the one that like doesn't care at all.
It's pushing that negative frequency, man. You just have to recognize that that's happening and try to detach from that. Like, you have to realize, like, whatever it is that's happening, it's causing this negative vibe right now. You just got to detach from that negative vibe.
I don't really care about all the crap going on in the world as much as I'm just like, I have anxiety about like someone breaking into my house.
Well, you're going to manifest that.
No, I'm not. I'm going to put cameras. I got like 10 of them.
There's a thing about
ain't nobody getting in this house without me knowing.
There's a thing about manifesting. If you think something's going to happen enough, it'll happen. You know what I mean?
Yo, stop.
I've been
creeping me out.
For 15 years.
There you go.
So think happy thoughts.
You gotta think that's a thing. Positive mental attitude. That's the real deal.
Do you think there's something to like actually like? Can you like tune yourself into the world so you're like more at ease with it? Do you think that like people who are more
the world or like the earth? What do you mean by that?
Like the universe.
Yeah,
the universe.
Chaos,
okay.
They can like tune into the chaos. And it's not disrupting them anymore.
That's what
what'll happen with like with like sound waves. Is the chaos is when there's two sound waves or a bunch of sound waves doing it, but when they harmonize and they sync up, then it's just like everything is like nice.
Yeah, that's what the black magic is, right? That's what the occult shit is. They're using the magic that exists. They're just inverting, perverting. They're doing their own spin on these magics that work. So they're tuning into the chaos that they've created. Order out of chaos. Right? Order out of chaos is the whole idea of, or like we were talking about on the thing last time, you cause the problem, you offer the solution, the Hegelian dialectic. They're tuning in. They're not only tuning into the chaos negative frequency and feeding off of it, but they're creating and causing that frequency. It's like a perpetual cycle, So.
Interesting. So the moral of the story, think happy thoughts.
Think happy thoughts. You weren't abducted.
2021's still going to suck.
2021's still going to suck.
But you can have a good year still.
Yeah. Hold your GameStop.